Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel True Crime and Trials, where I discuss true crime and trials. And as some of you may have seen, I have started with the Jodi Arias trial. I'm aware of the Derek Chauvin trial that is about to begin on Monday the 29th, but I've started this. I can do it in between watching that because I really don't want to miss it. I don't think anyone wants to miss it. So in this video we have two prosecution witnesses, and the first one is Marie Hall, or otherwise known as Mimi. Now Mimi, or Marie, knew Travis and she had met him through the Mormon church, and she goes on to say that Travis asked her out a few times, and at first she didn't really want to, and then she did agree to go on a date with him, and she thinks she went on about 3 dates with him. She's then asked about what they did on the first date, and she said they went to dinner, they went to Barnes and Noble and had some hot chocolate. Marie thought he was a really nice guy, but she didn't get any sparks with him. But she didn't say this until after, I think it was the second date, because she wanted to give him a chance. During this date, Travis didn't even try to kiss her, nor did he say anything sexual to her, and she says the most he did was give her a hug. Within a matter of a week or two, Marie started seeing someone else for a couple of weeks, and Travis found out and he backed off. She says he was very sweet and respectful of the fact Marie had started seeing someone else. So when Travis found out that Marie had stopped seeing this other guy, he approached her again and asked her out on another date, and they did go on another date. She says they went to a place where you paint pottery, and then after that Travis took her home. Again, Travis didn't make any sexual advances, and Marie says she felt very safe with Travis. They did go out another time, but Marie went out with him because she was trying to get to know him, because the spark still wasn't there. So she told him that they would just be friends. She says Travis understood and thanked her for telling him, so he knew where he stood. They would still see each other at church, and Marie started a book and film club which would take place at Travis's house, and she says it was a fun friendship. So then Juan Martinez begins to ask her about the Mormon church and their stance on sex before marriage. And she says that sex before marriage is a big sin in the Mormon faith, and one that you could actually be excommunicated for. So Marie says she would continue to communicate with Travis by text, phone call, email, or in person, and this would be in one form or another every day. And she says he was working on them being good friends. Then Travis asked her to go to Cancun with him, and he told her that he had won it at work, and this was in May 2008. Marie told him she would think about it because she wasn't sure what the meaning was behind it, because obviously she'd already told them that they were just friends. But he did reassure her that they would be staying with another LDS family, and she would be sharing a room with one of their daughters, so she agreed to go with him. So Marie continued to talk to Travis every day right up until a week before he was found dead at his home, and she last spoke to him on the 2nd of June 2008. On the day he was found, Marie went to a meeting at 7:30 p.m, which finished at around 8:30. She then went to visit a friend who had just had surgery. All the while she was trying to make contact with Travis, because obviously she kept trying and she wasn't getting any answers. So she started to get worried and decided that after she visited her friend, she would go over to Travis's house. On the way to Travis's house, she started to get really worried because she called Travis and it went straight to voicemail. Marie called her mum because she was again getting really scared about what might be going on, because she knew he had a stalker. So obviously there'd been some sort of conversation somewhere. So Marie gets to Travis's house at around 9:30, and she saw a car in the driveway, but she didn't know whose it was, and she saw that there was a light on upstairs. She went to the door and knocked, and nobody answered, although Travis's dog did jump up at the door, and she said the dog looked really upset and he was, jumping at the door and barking. She was there for a couple of minutes, banging on the door, ringing the doorbell, and during this time, Marie was still on the phone with her mum, but her sister was also on this call, and her sister suggested that Marie get in contact with someone that Travis knew, which was a woman called Michelle Lowry. So Michelle said she would contact Travis's best friend, which was Michelle's boyfriend. So when Michelle, when Michelle and her boyfriend arrived, Michelle's boyfriend pounded on the door, and she said this went on for a minute or two, and then it was suggested that they go in through the garage, and they managed to get the code for the garage. They opened the garage and immediately saw Travis's car was still in there. So they then went into the house. Marie at this point says that she did smell a bad smell, but thought it might have been the dog that had an accident. So obviously they go around checking all the rooms on the first floor, and then they start going up the stairs to where Travis's bedroom door was, and it was locked. So they knocked, but obviously there was no answer. They then go to another room where one of Travis's roommates was, and he had a key. So this roommate and Michelle's boyfriend both went into Travis's bedroom. Now Marie stayed outside of the bedroom with Michelle. The two men noticed the blood that was there, and Marie was looking through the crack in the door, but as soon as she heard them say the word blood, she just stood back. Then next, the roommate came running out saying he's dead. So Marie immediately called the police and ran out of the house. So after Travis has been found and everything, there was a memorial held for Travis, which Jodi attended. Jodi came up to Marie and introduced herself and said, "Are you Mimi Hall?" And Marie said yes, and Jodi introduced herself and told Marie that she was upset. That's the end of that. So we go on to the cross-examination, and we find out that Marie had no idea that Travis was seeing Jodi. And now we get the stalker story, and it was on a camping trip that they all went on that Travis told Marie he had a stalker, and that she had in fact followed Marie and Travis on their first date. He didn't give them a name. So Marie told him that was really scary and that he should try and get a restraining order. So now on to the redirect, and Travis told Marie that his stalker had slashed his tyres several times, slashed someone he was dating's tyres, sent threatening emails to Travis and the girl he was dating at the time. She also followed Travis and Marie on their first date they went on, broken into his email and bank account, snuck into his house through the doggy door, and slept on his couch without him knowing. Wow. So there we get the first insights into why Jodi is known as a stalker and what she could have allegedly done. I'm presuming we get more evidence on what she'd been doing, but yeah, so that's the end of that witness. The next witness up is Officer Sterling Williams, and he is a patrol officer. He was on duty on the 9th of June 2008, and he attended the scene at Travis's home and arrived at around 10:30 p.m. He went inside the house, he went upstairs, and went to Travis's bedroom, where Travis's body was found in the shower. Fire personnel had already got there and they pronounced him dead. He says it appeared to him that Travis had been in that position and deceased for a while. He noticed the ear-to-ear neck wound and that his face was almost black, but the rest of his body was almost white. I'm not sure about that one. He also says that the way Travis was positioned, it appeared, this sounds horrible, that gas was escaping from the neck wound because of some of the blood that was there. It was bubbling. So now they show a few photographs of the scene, and obviously they're not showing everything, but they do show a photo of Travis at the bottom. You don't see everything, you just see his body at the bottom of the shower. So if you don't want to see it, I'm going to show it. So if you don't want to see it, just look away now. Okay, you can look back again now. And then Sterling, after they've gone through all the photographs, Sterling says he looked around the bathroom and noticed blood spatter in the sink and the countertops. So a big deep dive into the beginnings of Travis and Jodi and what could have potentially happened. But obviously we're only hearing from the prosecution side. As we know, Jodi is going for self-defense, but at the moment there's no sign of self-defense. Based on what Marie said, that, you know, basically Travis was a gentleman. He didn't force her into anything. He wasn't aggressive. He wasn't angry. And all they ever did was hug. So, right. So I'll be back with more in the next video. Until then, bye for now.